Welcome back. Michael Moore is certainly no stranger to controversy. So is it possible that his extra pounds can be blamed for the problems with America's health care system? Well, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, who was also an 2008 presidential candidate, implies maybe yes. He even says his health care costs more when he tipped the scales at more than 100 pounds more than he joins now. Governor Huckabee joins me live from Des Moines, Iowa to discuss it. Governor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker. Great to visit with you again.
So Michael Moore could ease the burden that we all share for America's health care if he just dropped a little weight?
No, I think the real issue is that Michael Moore has tried to make it that we'd be better off if we all went to Havana, Cuba to get our health care. What nonsense. The other night he actually made the assertion that people like Dr. Sanjay Gupta of one of your rival networks is really to blame for a lot of the problems. Well, the reality is Dr. Gupta is a wonderful healthcare professional, a great humanitarian, and gets it right, that it's about health, not just health care, that we've got a real struggle with. And Michael Moore's film apparently is all about saying that what we need is a government control, let the government pick your doctor. And Tucker, frankly, I don't think most Americans want the same people picking our doctor that runs the air traffic control system.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think they don't. The polls show that's in fact exactly what they want, unfortunately. But let me ask you this. You said something a little more specific than that. You said that when you were heavier than you are now, your health care cost more, implying that, I think it was a pretty direct implication, pretty clear implication, that Michael Moore should drop a little weight. How much do you think he weighs, by the way?
I have no idea, but I know this, that a lot of it is probably overblown in some ego. I think he looks at himself as a guy who's going to solve all of America's problems, but America's problems is, a lot of our problems are, that we have 80% of our health care expenditures based on chronic disease. We really don't have a health care crisis. We have a health crisis, Tucker. That means that most of the illnesses are caused by diseases that are preventable and curable if we live differently. Now, that's not going to solve everything, and then we still have a lot of Americans, over 40 million uninsured. But the real challenge and crisis we face is that we spend 17% of our gross domestic product on health care. There's no other nation on earth spending more than 10.5% of its GDP on health care. That's a problem that if we were spending 11%, we'd save $700 billion a year. That'd more than cover everybody.
So here's what, Mike, I just want to read a response from Michael Moore's producer, the producer of Sicko, his new movie, who says this about you, since you lost a lot of weight yourself. Quote, "There's nothing worse than a reformed smoker or Twinkie eater, for that matter, preaching conversion. We've all had one of those in the house and can't wait for them to just leave. With 66% of the American public overweight, it's not the way to win an election." You don't want to alienate fat people, do you?
No, I think what it's a matter of is wanting to see that children live longer than their parents and grandparents. And because childhood obesity is up 77% since 1990, today's child born in this country is the first child in the history of America that's not expected to live as long as his parent or grandparent.
Right.
This is a serious health issue. It's a crisis that's taking kids out of here.
Well, it possibly is a health issue for Michael Moore. I don't know, but it's certainly possible. Since you lost a lot of weight, what would you recommend to Michael Moore? I mean, what do you think he should do?
I tell you what, I'll go watch his movie if he'll read my book. How would that be for a fair exchange?
I mean, like if you're Michael Moore, and I'm sure he's unhappy about his weight, what would you recommend he does about it?
Well, what I would recommend is that he just takes simple steps. I'd recommend this for everybody. Take charge of your own health. Don't expect somebody else to say, I'm going to take care of all your health needs. I had to realize this was my responsibility. Tucker, there was no one who was living outside good health habits more so than me. Nobody. I mean, I ate everything I wanted. I didn't exercise. It was my fault. I didn't blame the government for that. I didn't expect the government to fix it. And we have to realize that if we want to live longer, live healthier, and live less expensively, we do have to make some lifestyle changes.
Okay. Well, I hope he's watching. Former Governor Mike Huckabee of Arkansas. I sure appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Governor.
Thanks, Tucker.